Hello and happy Saturday, everybody. It is a live special edition of my weekly update. This one is specifically on Dream for All. I will later on today or tomorrow be doing my normal Friday update. My day fell apart yesterday, so I did not have a chance to do my normal update. But this one is specifically about Dream for All. There's a lot of information out there. Some is true, some is not true. There's some speculation on kind of where things are going. And so I wanted to take a couple of minutes of your time on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, at least in Northern California, it's a beautiful Saturday, and update you on what I know and what I think is happening. So first and foremost, lots and lots of vouchers that were issued in this last week. That is good news because we're seeing CalHFA aggressively putting vouchers out there. And a few people reach out and say, hey, John, I'm worried. Is this a glitch? Like, what's going on? Why were there so many vouchers issued? Well, the good news is that CalHFA is issuing a lot of vouchers because they want to get through the money quickly. We've kind of been hearing that since the beginning of the year, that CalHFA has been recalculating their numbers, figuring out what the percentages of the money that is being used. Like nobody's using the full 150 across the board. There are lots of counties, even Orange County, who has the highest price point of all of the Dream for All counties, is only using on average of $122,000 per voucher. So CalHFA has been able to recalibrate and say, hey, well, we don't need to necessarily issue one voucher with $150,000 set aside for it. They've also been recalibrating what percentage of the people they gave vouchers to that are actually using their vouchers. And so they've been aggressively putting out vouchers, and that is really, really, really good news. Here's the bad news that I'm hearing. Now, this is not fact, but I trust the people I'm hearing it from. The wait list is going to be coming to a close soon. And it's going to really suck for those of you who are right at the top of the wait list. Here's the deal. From what I'm gathering and from what I'm hearing, CalHFA is basically saying, look, we've got to end the money at some point in time. And we can't keep stretching this out. So we're going to give more vouchers and get more people out there shopping, but then we're going to shut it off. And we're going to tell everybody on the wait list, there's no more vouchers. We're shutting off the wait list. They will never squeeze out every penny of money that's left in the program. That just is impossible. Now, there's a chance they could actually use more money than what was set aside in the program, and they have some contingency funds that they can dip into. But at some point in time, they're just going to draw the line, and I'm hearing that point in time is coming very soon. So I'm thinking of some people I talked to just in the last week. I think last week I was doing my live stream, and a few people were asking me, hey, John, do you think I'm in good shape? Young, I'll get to your question in a couple minutes. They said, hey, John, do you think I'm in good shape? And they were in LA County. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're in pretty good shape at the end of March, because we had a bunch of people who got vouchers in the beginning of September. Their 3 months got them through the end of December, early January. Their next 3 months of their final extension gives them through the end of March, early April. And I thought at that point in time, you've got a really good chance of getting a voucher. I'm a little nervous now. I'm a little nervous that they may shut down the wait list before we even get to the end of March. That's why they're aggressively giving out vouchers right now. And it's going to stink for somebody who ended up number one on the wait list the day they shut down the vouchers. And it's going to be a horrible feeling. It's going to be an extreme letdown, but I'm preparing you that from what I'm hearing and from what I'm sensing and how quickly they're giving out vouchers, they're trying to get a bunch of vouchers out there so that they can kind of say, great, those vouchers will take care of the majority of the money and we're just going to be done. And I kind of see the point that you need to stop keeping everybody waiting and hoping they're going to get money. Because if there's no chance they're going to get money, so Rosemary says, I am number 55. Rosemary, I was a lot more optimistic. I don't know what county you're in, but I was a lot more optimistic a few weeks ago, as I'm starting to see more vouchers come out right now. And I'm hearing from some of the people that I trust, that I talk to, and they're saying, hey, we're getting ready to wind down this program. They didn't give me a timeline. I don't know what it's going to be. So Rosemary's in LA County. Again, in LA County, I felt really confident, like, man, we're going to see a lot more people in LA County that are going to still get vouchers. I'm more concerned, Rosemary. I am more concerned about whether you are going to ever get a voucher on this bucket of money from the money that they're offering right now. So again, I'm not telling you give up at this point, but I am saying that all the signs tell me that it's going to be wrapping up soon. They've been issuing a lot more vouchers. And the catch-22 in LA County is that they're giving more grace to people in LA County because of the fires. So they're actually giving even greater than the one single 3-month extension. They're giving extra time to people in LA County. So it's kind of a catch-22 that they're giving LA County people extra time, which means even fewer people on the wait list are going to get their shot in LA County. You can argue that you think that's a good idea or not, whether it's fair or not, but it's at some point, it's what they're going to do. So bottom line, what we're looking at here is that I think the wait list is going to be ending soon. I think that those of you who have a voucher, use your time wisely. Like I had a client who was in LA County and got their voucher in September and had been looking, but not aggressively looking. And their voucher expired last week on Thursday. They got into escrow last week on Monday. So great news. They got a house. They're in escrow. Everything is great. 4 days to spare. 4 days to spare on a 180-day timeline. So use your time wisely if you have a voucher. The second thing I'll tell you, I don't expect it, but I'm worried. If you are a voucher holder and you're counting on that extension to give you an extra 90 days, I think the fair thing is that Cal HAFA gives everybody an extension, because it would be unfair for them to not give extensions to those people that have vouchers that were issued late in the process. But it doesn't mean they have to give you an extension. There's nothing in writing anywhere that says they are going to give everybody who wants an extension an extension. They've never put that in writing anywhere. So I wonder if a bunch of the people who currently have vouchers end up successfully finding homes, like a much greater percentage than you normally had seen, end up finding homes and getting into contract. And Cal HAFA gets to the point where they've run out of the first bucket of money and they're actually dipping into their reserve money in order to fulfill these. And I got a bunch of people that are still in their first 90 days. Are they going to give you an extra 90 days to keep shopping when they've officially run out of money? I don't know. I'm not saying they won't. I think the fair thing to do is to give everybody more time. But if I was holding a voucher that I had gotten a month ago and I'm counting on having 5 more months, I wouldn't be counting on that. I'd be hoping, I'd be disappointed if they didn't give me a 90-day extension, but I wouldn't be counting on it. And so I'd want to be aggressively trying to buy a home within the first 90 days. The truth is, when this first came out, the first voucher winners, June 28th of 2024, they didn't know they were going to get an extension. There were no extensions talked about at that point in time. I did see something in the fine print somewhere, and I was talking about it back then. If you go back to my videos, you'll see it. And I was talking about a method of asking for an extension. I didn't know how long, I didn't know how often or how many times they'd offer an extension. I just want to warn people who have vouchers that are in their first 90 days, don't automatically slow your roll and say, I'm okay waiting and I got an extra 90 days at the end. There's nothing in writing that says you have that extra 90 days. So be aware of that. Rosemarie, I'll try and call you soon to see what other options are out there. Yes, please. So go scan this QR code above or in the description down below. There's a link to register or to go straight into my calendar and schedule a time because that is definitely what we want to look at is alternative programs and ways that we can help all of you get into a home. So thank you, Rosemarie. I appreciate that. Young, I still have not forgotten your question. I'll get to it in a minute. I do want to cover two more things. One, should I look at alternatives? Rosemarie, you just said that. But before I get to that, I want to talk about future money. I had 4 people reach out to me this week saying, John, I want to get started because I want to be ready when the lottery opens up in April. Or hey, I heard new money is coming next month. There's not. Like I reached out to one of my contacts at Cal HAFA and I'm like, look, I'm 99.9% sure that there's no more money coming next month and we don't have any money coming anytime soon, but can you add that extra 0.001 to put me at 100%? And she said, yeah, it's 100%. Like there is no more money right now. There's no new lottery. There's no new vouchers. There's no new list. There is no new money. So I'm going to repeat what I've said multiple times to be really, really clear. This money is allocated by the state budget. The state budget covers the budget year from July 1st to June 30th. So the next budget year starts in 4 months, okay? So in 4 months, we're going to be in a new budget year. That budget is typically passed by June 30th. In the June 30th budget, we will see if there's money set aside for Dream for All. As a matter of fact, there's usually an early version of the budget that comes out, I believe, around May. We will see if there's money set aside for Dream for All. If there is, then that money is allocated to be issued during the year of the second half of 2025 to the first half of 2026. CalHFA would have to reset up the lottery system, but it'd be faster this time. So I don't think they'd have to wait until April of next year and issue the vouchers in June. I think they get the lottery going pretty quickly. So I'm hoping it's late this year or maybe the January of 2026 if money is allocated from the state. And that's a big if. And from everything that I'm seeing right now, the economic news that we're seeing right now, the government spending that we're seeing right now at the federal level, and the fact that federal government is not spending as much money and they're pulling back the money that they're spending, well, that means the state budgets are going to have less money coming from the federal government, which means they're going to have less resources, less income to allocate to different programs. I don't expect that they're going to prioritize the Dream for All program in the upcoming budget. That's my sense. I don't expect that there'll be money next year. We will know that on July 1st or right around July 1st of this year. So 4 months from now, we're going to know for sure whether there is money that's going to be released in the second half of 2025 to the early half of 2026. That would be essentially next year's money. That's when we would know if there's going to be future money. There's no more money coming out in the next few months. Even if they pass a budget that includes money, it's not going to be released right away. There'll likely be another lottery. But I'm not holding out a lot of hope. Actually, I'm holding out a lot of hope. I have a lot of hope, but I don't have a lot of expectation, just given the state of the economies, given the state of what's going on in government right now. Again, I try to stay away from politics, but I'm factual about what's happening. Federal government is spending less money. Therefore, there's less money coming to the state government for lots of different programs. Therefore, the state has to reallocate or rethink where their money is going. And I just worry that Dream for All is not going to be one of their priorities for the current budget year. Remember, Dream for All happened 3 years ago, was when Dream for All was really created 4 years ago. And then it took a year or two for it to get through the system. And it was created when we had a budget surplus. We had extra money coming in compared to our expenses at the state level. And they wanted to find programs to help the citizens of the state through that budget surplus. But if they don't have a budget surplus, they have to take care of the programs that they need to take care of before they add money to a housing program like this. So I don't think we're going to see money this year. That's just the truth. And so that brings up the question of, should I look at alternatives? And the answer is yes, we should start looking at alternatives. Don't abandon your opportunity to get a voucher until they've shut down the wait list, but we absolutely should be looking at alternatives, and I want to help to be your guide through those alternatives. There's statewide programs, there are local programs, there's lots of ways that we can make this work. The truth is, none of them are as good as Dream for All. Dream for All gives you the lowest monthly payment because it's the biggest assistance amount, but it's also the most expensive. And so it's a trade-off of the fact of, hey, you may not have the opportunity to get the one that gives you the lowest monthly payment, but it also in the long run isn't going to cost you as much as the Dream for All program is going to cost you. So yes, we should be looking at alternatives. Rosemarie, anybody else, I appreciate the opportunity. Scan this QR code above to get to my website, and you'll get all my contact information through my mobile app, or click the link in the description down below to get directly to my calendar. All right, so I'm now going to take any questions that you guys have. I know we already have one. We've got a few people that are watching live right now. If you're watching recorded, feel free to post a comment and I will come back and respond. Is Young saying, if I refinance a second time with the Dream for All voucher, I have to pay back the 20%. But what if I don't have the 20% cash liquid? That is really good. Really good question. So the first thing I will tell you is, by the way, first of all, Rosemarie, you're very welcome. The first thing I will tell you is I want you to subscribe to one of my other channels, and it is called Can I Refi? So if you scan this QR code right up here, you will get to canirefi.com, and you'll have a link there where you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Can I Refi? I'm going to be talking all about refinancing. I've only got a few videos on there, but I'm building that channel out. I'm going to talk all about refinancing and how refinancing works, showing you answers to questions like this. And I'm going to answer your question right now, Young, which is, no, you don't need to have the cash. We're going to include the money that you owe for the Dream for All into the new loan. Now, I'm going to do this on the fly, but I'm going to do very rough math for you right now. Let's pretend that you buy a house for $750,000. Actually, let's make the math easier. $500,000. You bought a $500,000 house. You got $100,000 from Dream for All. That's the 20%. You owe $400,000 on your mortgage. Now, you go to refinance for the second time, and let's pretend the first time that you refinance, you lowered your interest rate a little bit, which is you can't pull cash out unless you're paying off CalHFA. So the only way you can refinance the first time is if you're just refinancing to lower your rate. Now you go to refinance the second time, and you say, okay, my house, I now owe $320,000 because you paid down your balance, and your house is worth $700,000. So you bought it for $500,000, and the value's gone up, and it's now $700,000. So you owe the state the $100,000 that they loaned to you, plus you owe them 20% of the increase. Now the house increased by $200,000. You bought it for $500,000. It increased to $700,000. So of that $200,000 increase, you owe the state 20% or $40,000. So you owe them $100,000, what you got originally, plus 20% of the $200,000 increase, or $40,000. You owe them $140,000. You owe $320,000. Okay, let's pretend you even owed $380,000. You haven't paid down your balance very much at all, which would be unlikely because amortization, the process of making your principal and interest payment, brings your balance down. But let's just pretend for the worst case scenario that it didn't drop very much and you owed $380,000. The house is worth $700,000. So we take the $380,000 that you owe on your current mortgage, the $140,000 that we owe to Dream for All, and that adds up to $520,000. We do a new loan for you for $520,000, and you would qualify for that because the house is worth $700,000. The key, though, is your income has to be enough to afford the payments on a $520,000 loan, because you went from making payments on $380,000 to making payments on $520,000. Now, if the rate has dropped enough, then you might have the exact same payment because you lowered your interest rate, you increased your balance, and it ends up being a trade-off. Okay, but I'm going to end up building out a calculator that you'll be able to find on this website, canirefi.com, so you can subscribe to the Can I Refi YouTube channel. So scan the QR code above, subscribe to that channel. You'll get information through that channel as well on different refinance tools and techniques. But the bottom line is you don't have to come up with the cash. You just have to be aware that your payment's going to go up because now you have to start making payments on the money you got from Dream for All, including the money you owe them back for the appreciation of the home, because they get 20% of the appreciation. It's actually why I think it's critical, even before you refinance the first time, you need to talk to me about strategy. Because your first refinance, you may want to pay off the states so that you don't have to worry about that balance continuing to grow. You may not save anything on your monthly payment. You say, John, then what's the point of refinancing? So that you no longer owe the states. So you borrow extra money to pay back the state. Your loan amount goes higher, but it's offset by the drop in the interest rates. And so your total payment is not any different or very little difference between what you were paying before, but now you no longer have that money hanging over your head that you owed to the state. So that's a really good strategy that I would want you to consider. And so if you are in that position, obviously you should be thankful that you've got the opportunity to buy a home, and that, hey, yeah, you owe the state money as part of the appreciation, but you got to keep 80% of the appreciation. They just got 20%. So you are winning for sure, but the sooner you can pay them off, the better off you are. And that's the key that I want you to remember. So hopefully, Young, that answers your question and that makes sense. It does not look like we have any other questions, guys. So I just want to say thank you for joining me on this Saturday afternoon. Hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend. Please share the news. Share this with anybody that you know. If you know somebody else who's thinking about buying a home, I'd love the opportunity to help them out as well. And pay attention in the future once you become a homeowner and you're not sure how refinancing works, you're not sure how the process works. Well, that's why I've created this channel for Can I Refi, and that is going to help you to guide you through those decisions. There'll be a YouTube. There already is a YouTube channel about it. There's a website on it. Scan the QR code or check out the website above. Sign up and subscribe. And I look forward to guiding you both in the purchase of your home, whether you are a Dream for All voucher winner, whether you're looking at alternative programs or your future refinances. I'm looking forward to interviewing to be your lender. So thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you have an absolutely wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.